Okay, she got on every single night. And I don't like
It may seem that the story of you is chaotic. However, in reality, it is not. The more stories you pass through, the more likely you will be to piece it into one whole picture. Use every possible opportunity. The truth is somewhere close.
Welcome back, guys. It's your boy Trash God. Today we're playing My Name Is You. I really don't know what it's about, but it seems like something where you just make choices and make like your own little story and whatnot. I'm gonna be doing chapter by chapter, so I don't know how long these videos are gonna be. So we'll go ahead and see how long it is. Oh, and thank you guys if you came back and decided to watch this video. I know it's been a good while. I've just been working and with the kids and everything going on. It's so chaotic and hectic. So thank you guys for supporting me and staying with me if you continue to watch my videos.
I suppose I will start at the very beginning. Chapter 1. Once upon a time, there lived you. Despite his unusual name, his life was hardly any different from others. It was an unusually usual day when he was getting ready to go to work. 2 hours of sleep. What a formality, he said to himself, glancing at his watch. He was used to working at night, just as he was used to never having days off. That morning, the buttons on his shirt were fastened faster than usual. This was not by chance. The tear-off calendar boldly declared Friday, April 3rd.
It must be a special date, I'm assuming.
It reminded him that there were only 3 work days before his holiday, and there was no room for mistakes. His room in a communal apartment was not very big, so it did not take him long to pack. Having got dressed, he quietly walked past the neighbors' rooms into the hallway. Somebody was snoring loudly in the furthest room, which caused you to smile for some reason.
They're getting awesome rest while he's having work.
He walked up to the front door and accidentally stepped on a pile of letters. Picking up the envelopes, he saw his name on one of them. You automatically put it in his pocket and walked out. The thought that next Sunday, a huge stone would be removed from the entrance to the crypt of his existence by the power of labor legislation kept you going.
Take that long to read a letter, so having a rush.
Glancing at the address line, a chill went through Yu's body for a split second. From Darina. Yu was confused by the seal on the envelope, indicating the place of departure. No leave grad. Is she really coming back to Cannot? Yu wondered. Dear Yu, my doctor's suspicions are confirmed. I have the same disease that struck you. I thought it over and decided that we need to break up. It may seem that things like that should bring people closer, but it would be unfair to myself. We can have our last date on the morning of April 3rd in the Seafront Cafe, and then I will leave Cannot and go abroad. He felt dizzy.
like something's gonna happen if I don't go to the cafe. We're gonna miss out on something. If we go to work, if we don't go to work, he could get fired. But I mean, you always gotta be there for the people you love. To be honest.
Although you suffered from excessive hypochondria, he really had an incurable illness. He clearly remembered the day when he heard the diagnosis. Since that moment, he stopped counting new birthmarks on his body. He seemed shaken up after reading the letter, but not surprised. He tried to squeeze out a tear to see if he was still capable of showing emotions. Alas, he just welled up a little. You decided that it was because he had drunk a large amount of coffee, which dehydrated his already dried up body. Approaching the seafront, he tried to spot Dorina. It did not take him long to find her. There she was, at the cafe table. She probably had no clue how much he appreciated her starting the conversation. Usually, you are late. I am tired. I hope you understand me. But he did not. Having overcome his anxiety, he squeezed out a handful of words.
I mean, if I were to ask her to stay, it's like not really forcing her, but making her make a tough decision whenever she's already going through. And maybe sometimes it's always best to give her that space. Um, I don't know. If it was me, I mean, I would ask her to stay.
Do not go away. Let's try once more. Too late. I have put up with my life for the sake of old age. Now there will be no old age. There had always been a gap of misunderstanding between them. He had embraced his illness long ago, and resignedly yielded to his ailment with a loud, "Make yourself at home." It seemed that he had become closer to his illness than to Dorina. He got distracted thinking about himself and missed her meaning. Reflections on how to rebuild his life from the very beginning prevailed over the others. He was not ready to renew his relationship with himself, so he mentally grasped at the crumbles of the past seeping through his crucified palms. I am sorry. I have made my decision. I do not know why I arranged this meeting.
See, then again, that would have been selfish to try to make her stay. But you always have to try to try to stay together with whoever you're with. But of course, like this, sometimes it doesn't always work.
She paid for the bill and left. You froze in place, at first not daring to say anything, and then resigned himself to the role of a scapegoat thrown into the unknown. For some reason, he saw something noble in their breakup. You were sure that he went to work immediately after the meeting, but when he came to his senses, he realized that he was on an unfamiliar street, cloaked by dusk. Despite the fact that the street seemed to be deserted, he felt someone's heavy presence. Turning to a rustle behind his back, Yu impaled his chest on a knife, squeezed in the hands of a long familiar figure.
Greetings from the past.
Whether from pain or surprise, Yu could not utter a single word. The murderer carefully took out the blade and laid your motionless body on the ground. Blood flowed through the cold mosaic of paved stones. The corners of Yu's mouth spread into a smile.
That or I just got destroyed at the story. But let me try again and see if I can get something better, I guess.
The trip to work took him by several blocks. He considered early morning to be an extremely pleasant time of day. Universal euphoria. Although euphoria usually precedes inevitable death. As soon as he went into the park, he saw a kid in ragged clothes running away from a pack of stray dogs. His eyes caught a swiftly ticking clock hand.
It's like, if I help, then I could get killed. If I step back, the kid could get killed. So it's like, man, what do I do? What do I do? Be the nice guy and help? Or just let the dogs kill the boy? Man, personally, I'd be afraid because I hate dogs. I don't hate them, but I've had a bad experience with them. But in this case, I'd probably jump in.
Even though Yu had been scared of dogs since childhood, he was going to run to the kid's aid. But the latter stumbled and fell down on the pavement, and the dogs lost all interest in him.
That's so crazy because exactly what I said about, having experience with them since my childhood.
Yu had nothing to do with the outcome of events, but he was filled with pride for his desire to help the boy that he did not even know. It made him come up to the kid, who was sitting on the ground with a bloody knee and a toothless smile, not because of the fall, but due to his age. Yu was about to give the kid a handkerchief with his initials on it when he noticed it had fresh traces of his own blood. So he just asked, "Can I do something for you?"
Thank you, sir. I am okay. They did not mean to hurt me.
At that moment, Yu saw his boss in the distance and hurried to work, shouting a quick, "Be careful," over his shoulder. On the way to the office, the thought about how strange it felt to be addressed as Sir bounced around in his head. Although he had passed a 30-year-old milestone, he felt closer to the kid with a bloody knee than to sirs of any kind, even the least important of them. Yu went up 3 flights of stairs and found himself on the top floor. It was the office of the insurance company where he worked. The door was unlocked. Was he late? He tried to walk in, but was stopped by a stranger. "Wait! Where are you going?" Before Yu could give a proper response to the cad, his boss came up the stairs, struggling to catch his breath, and did it himself. "Let him in." They both entered the office, and the boss walked Yu to his desk, where he explained the situation to him in private.
What did I do wrong?
That is Frank, my distant relative. He needs to do an internship, so he is going to work here for a while.
Oh, okay. Thought I was in trouble.
As who?
As a security guard. To avoid any further questions, the boss turned around and went to
His office. An internship as a security guard in an insurance company, fitting in 2 rooms. Ridiculous. If I was blessed with a writing talent, I would definitely immortalize this, you thought. You got down to some clerical work. You found a moment and took the morning letter out of his pocket. Glancing at the address line, a chill went through Yu's body for a split second. From Dorina. Yu was confused by the seal on the envelope,
Oh, this is the same thing
indicating
from
the
earlier.
place of departure. No leave grad. Is she really coming back to Kenot? He said out loud. Suddenly, there was a curious voice saying, "Who is coming?"
The little boy.
Yu did not answer and continued reading. Dear Yu, my doctor's suspicions are confirmed. I have the...
She has the same disease as him, and
He felt dizzy.
he understands her pain because he's gone through it. And they should break up. Ay, ay, ay. Stay at work, go to the cafe. I feel like the same thing's gonna happen if I go to the cafe. I'm just gonna end up dead. So I guess I'll stay at work.
Another working day turned into night. The newly appointed watchman dozed off at his improvised post, an ordinary chair at the entrance to the office. Yu was sitting at his sturdy desk, imagining again and again how the shelves, stocked with books on jurisprudence, would break loose due to their own weight from friable concrete and break his head. Allowing himself a little break, Yu took his diary from his table drawer and made a note. I never took a plate of soup at school lunches, even when I really wanted to. I was afraid to spill it in front of everyone, but I could put it on the table, which seems to be my life's pattern. Feeling some satisfaction from writing that, he resumed work. There was a rustle of the janitor's broom and the trill of birds outside the window. More accurate than the clock, you thought. Chapter 2.
Alrighty, guys. That's where we're gonna go ahead and end it. I made it past the chapter 2 this time. The first time around, I got killed by myself, I'm assuming. So far, it's pretty deep. You know, it's choosing between the people you love and, you know, work and you know, having deep issues such as the illness he's going through that we learned about earlier in the first round. You know, any choice is critical. So, yeah, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed. This is the first video. I'll go ahead and do chapter 2 next for you guys, and I'll see you then. Thank you.
Ready to let go. You decide if you're